it's the same as his message to me. He would like to see it done. He would like to see it. I believe he would like to see it ended, yes. I do believe it.
Two wars that we were talking about, Gaza and Ukraine, are escalating at the same time. You're going to take the stage at the UN, back at the stage after these years. Do you plan to setting any kind of red lines for these two countries? And you said before, you are frustrated with Putin. Are you also frustrated?
We have a long time to go before I get up and speak at the UN, because every day is a long time when it comes to Gaza, when it comes to Israel and the Middle East. So we have a long time to go, but you know a lot of my opinions, and remember this, you can't forget October 7th either. People are forgetting October 7th. They forget it too quickly. That was one of the worst days in world history. It was the most evil attack that you could really say babies were involved, little babies were involved, and having their heads chopped off and all of the things that took place. You can't forget that. I don't forget that. A lot of people do, but I don't yet.
I'm wondering if you've seen the video put out by former Israeli hostages. It's addressed to you. One is a widow of one that died, and these are people who were freed thanks to you. But they're actually encouraging you to force a ceasefire, force that Netanyahu ceasefire. And they didn't address it to him because they think you're the one who might actually listen to them and get it done. They're worried that the hostages who are still there are more at risk if the war continues.
Well, they might be. They also, maybe they'll be freed because of that. You know, you never know how it's. Look, war, I was saying, is war, a lot of strange things happen. A lot of results take place that you would never think were going to happen. As you know, I was able to get most of the hostages down. We're down to 20, and we have 32 dead people. You know that. We have 32, maybe more, 38, but between 32 and 38 people that were dead, mostly young people. And I've dealt with some of the parents. And we got all our Americans out, as you know, but now we're talking about mostly Israelis. But I dealt with parents, I spoke to parents, and they want the body of their son, I believe in almost all cases sons, but they want the body of their cherished, beautiful son. They want the body back as much as though he were alive. It's so sad to see. But I've dealt with the mothers and fathers, please, sir, please, the body of my son, they know he's dead. And they just want him back. They want him back as much as though he's alive. I mean, it's very terrible. And, you know, we have very close to 40 bodies that are included in the whole thing. But we have 20, probably 20 that are living. It might be a little bit less because a couple of things. Look, young people don't die. Okay, they just don't die. And it can take a lot, but a lot of people have died in these horrible tunnels. They're mostly in the tunnels. I know a lot about it. I got them out. I always said the last 20, when you get down to the last 10 or 20, it's going to be very tough. It's a nasty situation. You can't forget October 7th, but it's a nasty situation, Tara.
Out of Ukraine, that shows 23%, less than a quarter of Ukrainians actually support continuing the war against Putin. We saw the European leaders come here and try to say the world is united for the war effort, but Ukrainians have war fatigue themselves.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them. It's a war that never should have started. It's a war that never would have happened. If I were president, that war never would have happened. Ever. That's a disgrace that war happened. And they're losing anywhere from 5,000 to 8,000 people a week in that war, which is the worst since the Second World War. That's a war that should have never happened. Would have never happened. And it didn't happen for 4 years. When I was here, it didn't happen. Go ahead.
Do you consider cutting funding, even promises made by the Biden administration?
Well, we're not spending any money on the war. You know, we're being paid for everything we send. Unlike Biden, he gave them $350 billion. And it was shocking. We're not spending any money on the war. The war is being funded by NATO. And NATO is buying our equipment. In fact, I don't want to make money on that war. I don't want to, but we are actually making money on that war because they're buying our equipment, as you know. But NATO, as you know, it's very important, is funding the entire thing. They're paying for the missiles, for the tanks. They're paying for anything that's sent over there. It goes to NATO, and then NATO does what they want with it. In this case, I guess they give it to Ukraine. It's a very sad war. It's a war that never should have happened.